it must have been a boring time for Mr. GC Wannabe, because he sent in another question. And this one is, John, if you were daft enough to install your tyres on bass backwards, what happens? Would you go backwards? Well, that wouldn't happen, obviously, and you wouldn't be transported to 1985 or whatever happened in Back to the Future with Marty McFly. But some tyres are definitely directional, so pay close attention to the tyre labels, in particular on the sidewall, say forward and back. So if your wheel's going forward, make sure the forward is going in the forward direction. It might slow you down by a couple of microns. We'd have to do some roll down tests, and I really don't have much time for that. So yeah, just pay careful attention with your installations, because there's nothing worse than finding this out after you've installed the tyres, especially if you've set them up tubeless. Thanks for your third question there, Mr. Wannabe. We have another question here, and oh boy, this is someone winding me up totally. This bloke, he hasn't really given us his name, but he said he's from Tasmania. Okay, Tasmania is a state of my home country of Australia. It's off the coast. It's where the Tasmanian devil comes from. Anyway, okay, John, if you were to substitute your water or hydration mix for some high content electrolyte coconut water, would you go faster? Do you know anyone who has tried it? Well, this fellow must know me, because a couple of years ago I was coming off a bit of a cold, and I was at a rest stop on a very long road ride with a couple of my good mates, and I decided to try some coconut water in my bottles instead of regular Gatorade or whatever I had at the time. And I won't go into personal details, but I had this personal pressing emergency that really wanted me to drop my bike during the ride and run into the bloody woods. I didn't do it because if I had done this, I would have faced ridicule from my friends and never ever heard the end of it. So I sucked it up until the next gasoline station / convenience store. Anyway, I won't go into details there, but the crux of the matter is, don't experiment with your hydration or your food. Kind of work out something in your training, because race day is not the time to experiment with these sorts of matters. Thanks for your question there. This question comes to me from your friend, and they're in some place, some island somewhere. John, if you can only take one bike and one of the GC crew with you to a deserted gravel riding paradise, what bike and what GC personality would you take? Well, this is a loaded question. My friend Dr. Payne's going to love the answer. I'd probably take him along because he's quite handy at tinkering and solving problems. He and I both like to tinker on bike stuff. So, you see, K-Dogg, he's useless. He knows nothing about bikes. He just rides. So, forget about that. He's a big liability. So, I'd probably take Dr. Payne. And the bike, it would probably be a titanium rig of some kind. There's invariably going to be, I'm assuming, seawater somewhere on this paradise. And I don't really want my bike rusting up and that sort of thing. So, no steel, nothing personal. Carbon, you know, maybe I'll break it. I mean, maybe I'll smash it into some rocks. I don't know what's on this deserted paradise. So the tyre frame, it might get dented up, but it might be okay. It might survive. So probably a tyre bike of some kind. And I'd probably have to forego an electronic group set because there'd be nowhere to charge it. So there you go. That's what I'd do. Tyre bike and manual group set, mechanical group set. Probably Campagnola of some kind. Okay. This question comes from an unknown local in my hometown of Gainesville, Florida, United States. My adopted hometown, I might add. And he says he's from the Lime Rock Cafe. That's a eating establishment on the southwest side of town, if you must know. John, when riding in deep sand, should you be in front of or behind the illustrious K-Dogg? If you had to follow a wheel through deep sand, assuming you could, whose wheel is best? You know, I know who's asking these questions. The answer to that is I don't want to be on anyone's wheel. I want to pick my own line, so I'm going to try and get to the front ahead of you, and you can sit in my wheel and eat my sand. All right, there you go. That's my answer. Finally, we have another serious question. This comes to us from Ian of West Midlands in the United Kingdom. Ian writes, flared drops, yay or nay? By the look of your recent videos, not many racers use flared drops on gravel, even though they seem to be quite popular with OEM equipment. OEM being stock equipment that comes on a bicycle. Ian's tried the drop tune bars on his GT grade on and off, and he's also switched to compact, FSA compact road bars in between. Although he likes the slanted brake hood position and they give confidence on dodgy descents, he's never been able to set them up so they're comfortable for long periods of cruising on the drops. What's the Gravel Cyclist consensus on flared drop bars? Okay, Ian, handlebars, like saddles, pedals, shoes, are a personal choice. I cannot stand flared bars. I actually tried a set recently on a review bike that I was playing with on behalf of my friends at bikerumor.com. On the tops of the bars, the hoods, the bars felt fine. On the drops, it was like my chest was expanded out here, and it just felt totally uncomfortable. It was like I was driving or steering a Volkswagen bus. I couldn't handle it. I like my drops to be in line with my brake hoods. That probably comes from my long-standing background as a former road cyclist. I still do ride road, I just don't race road. So for me, definitely a road bar, and I really do love compact drops. Again, personal choice. My answer may not be popular, but just going back to the flared, I have seen quite a few guys using those things, and you know, it's divided. Some guys love those bars. So if you feel more comfortable on the FSA compact bars, run them for 3 months, and if they don't bother you, stick with it. Thanks for your question. Okay, the next question comes to us from Mark. Oh, this guy's in Gainesville, Florida as well. John, let's say you're out on a group gravel ride and you split the arse of your shorts. Jeez. Which of the following would you choose to cover up the offensive bits showing through the split? A pizza box found in the roadside ditch, a plastic garbage bag found in the dumpster at the rest stop, and C, both, or D, the extra large tie boot that you carry in your seat bag. Well, Mark, if my shorts split, I'd probably choose the garbage bag in the dumpster, although I would at least make some kind of attempt to clean it first. So I'd probably head into a store if it was near the dumpster, give it a scrub, because the garbage bag's at least more form-fitting than a pizza box, and wouldn't look so weird, and you know, you might face some ridicule, especially if it's a greasy pizza box. So the tie boot, well, yeah, that won't cover very much, will it? Unless you, yeah. Okay, let's move on. Thanks for the question there, Mark. Fascinating.
Traveling in a freighter.